Welcome to another episode of the Big MJ Debate. Once again, we are here to discuss all things Michael Jackson that have got the fan community ticking. And what better time to discuss this than in the midst of a Casio storm? I'm joined once again by Ilya Mazzani from MJ Chart Data and Sean McLachlan from the 09 Chatline podcast. Hi.
Hi.
So what a time to be back, and we thought with things so important at the moment, it's best that we get together in person in this lovely sunny yellow room to talk about what's going on. Today's episode is focused on the Michael Jackson vault. We're discussing what could be in the vault, what should happen with what's in the vault, why Michael had a vault, and where the hell is the vault?
Where is the vault?
So when we talk about the vault, what do you envision it to be?
I envision like a big safe with a huge like cog on the front. With
Like a bank safe?
Yeah, like a bank safe with like a couple of things in it.
Over and over. No, I imagine one of those, you've seen it in the movies, one of those storage rooms where you just go in and there's like loads of them. You know when they look like cupboards? Yeah, one of those. I don't know.
What
but there's not that much.
Well, I would love to think it's like a big vault with like, the wheel on the front, then it opens up and it's just like, no.
Well, like in Harry Potter. And Snape goes.
However, Tom Russo, who was a guest at Convention in 2016, actually got to see the vault, or the vault that existed at the time. It was on the Warner Brothers backlot. It was a tiny little cupboard. It was leaking. It was damp. It was mouldy, and he was sent during the dangerous recording sessions to sort the vault out. And he said there were the Thriller tapes in there, just kind of like warped and under moisture and all sorts. It was a mess. Yeah. So that was back then in 1990. So I don't know where the vault is now, what it might look like, but by the sounds of things, it's not this big kind of grand thing that we imagine. It's just a mess.
Yeah.
I mean, we know they've restored Thriller now, and I'm assuming it was safe, so I think he did a good job saving.
But I think based on the intro to Loving You, that was in that vault. Because when the tape walks at the beginning, and it's like, I think that was in there.
That makes sense.
So it's been a big debate within the fan community for about 13 years. Should the estate release what's in the vault? I guess this opens up many questions about what would Michael do, what's actually there to be released. Is it right to do that? What do you guys think?
I struggle to think that if Michael, we all know him as a perfectionist, if he had things that he was totally unhappy with, they would have been destroyed. That's what I think about it. But then again, did he ever think that people would get their hands on this stuff? I don't know.
I mean, he was a hoarder, so...
Well, true.
If Never Allowed taught us anything, it's that Michael was a hoarder.
True. But then you can imagine from people working with him in the studio and stuff, like I remember this specific interview with Akon, and he was saying that they were recording, and Michael was like, nope, it needs to be better, and Akon was like, it can't get better. But you would imagine that if he was totally unhappy with things that are lying around, that he would just be like, nah, just throw it away. That's what I think anyway. I don't know.
I feel like it should be released, because he definitely was wrong with some tracks that we've actually gotten. They're amazing and they should have been released a long time ago. But I don't know what... I can't think of anything that's there that's not released. I don't know if there's anything left in there that could be released.
I always see it as, like, Michael's albums I see as chapters of a book. Right, so when Michael did, let's say, the Bad album, the songs that didn't make the Bad album, like Streetwalker and Cheetah, they weren't bad songs.
Absolutely not. They're amazing.
They just didn't fit that book, right?
Yeah.
So each song is a chapter. It just didn't fit that book. It may have fit another book. And as we know, he sort of pulled Cheetah out of the vault when he came to the Invincible sessions. I think they just worked on some of the instrumentation. But it doesn't mean it wasn't right, period. It means it just wasn't right for the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so when is the next time? I don't know, but I think that it was kind of like always hanging on to stuff just in case. And we know that like Dangerous, your favourite, evolved from Streetwalker. So it's not necessarily, I think, that when stuff goes in the vault, it's like, oh, I hate this, put it in the vault, it's horrible. It's more like, when do I revisit this?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I never really thought about it like that. I just imagined him having a tantrum and throwing things away.
I mean, there are some songs he should have thrown away.
But I feel like he could have oh, stop it.
Hashtag justice for lost children.
No, but I feel like he should have gone back to those songs for history. But instead, we got Come Together on it, which, I don't know, didn't make that much sense to me.
We're not going to slander Come Together, though.
Oh, no, we're not. We're just...
Okay.
I'm just saying it
I was
just...
going to say, this yellow backdrop is going to turn people away. You start slandering.
No, absolutely not. That I still think, and I genuinely think that Michael's Come Together is the best version ever. Anyway, moving on. I feel like he could have got something else out. I would prefer Blood on the Dance Floor on History rather than having Come Together there. You know what I mean? And that could have been pulled out from Dangerous tapes.
It's so hard to imagine it there now, though, because I know Blood on the Dance Floor as Blood on the Dance
Yeah,
Floor.
as its own entity.
Yeah, so it's hard. I think I agree to an extent that, you know, as much as I love Come Together, it's always been a kind of point of contention. And when I wrote my book, I was kind of trying to find out why this was there. Mm-hmm. And Rob Hoffman, who was one of the engineers, said, we had worked on other tracks, we had finished other tracks, and then we came to the studio and Come Together was on the mixing desk, and the team were like, Michael wants Come Together on.
Oh, so
and there was no kind of, I don't know if it was like, I feel like a bit of extra cash, let's hit that. But yeah, I don't know what's there. I think the interesting thing for me is, where do the fans fit into this picture, right? Because we are fans of Michael because of the music he released. We like what he created. So surely we kind of... It's difficult because, yes, it's Michael's work, so it's his choice. But equally, I like him because of the music he created. So I want to hear what's there.
Yeah.
If there's any coughing on a track or any beatboxing, I want to hear it all because I'm a fan of his music.
Yeah.
And to me, you know, and to hold him to account, he said, when he was asked, and I quote, where does the music come from?
From above.
So it isn't yours to say it's going in a vault. If you were told that now was the time to have it and it's coming from above, who are you to put it in a vault?
Yeah. Okay.
I do really disagree with fans, and especially, it's usually the older fans that go against the estate releasing some stuff, some new material, and they just say it's not meant to come out. Well, Chicago's too good to be locked up.
Yeah.
You know, Loving You's too good. Love Never Felt So Good. Top 10 hit. Hello? Too good to be locked up. So I have to disagree with all of you that think it shouldn't be released.
I think it should definitely be released. As you said, like, we will take any snippets we can get that we've not heard before. Look at like a 5-second clip of unreleased footage gets ate up on Twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everybody loves it. Mm-hmm. So I would love to hear whatever they have, what they do have.
Who knows? Do you think there's perhaps a point in, when it comes to an unreleased song, if it was reworked or worked on by somebody who worked on the original track or worked with Michael in the studio, that would be more acceptable than bringing in a Timbaland or somebody that never worked with Michael? Because I think some of the fans have a concern, and I completely agree, and we've discussed it before, that, well, this is Michael's work, so shouldn't it be worked on by people that at least understood his vision for that song versus, well, this is what I'm going to do with it. And maybe that's where a lot of people kind of lose their support of it, because it's like, well, you know, if you take Escape as an example, Michael never heard the beats Timbaland created on Escape, so wouldn't it have been better that the original people worked on the completed version?
In my opinion, I'm not really fussed about who works on it in the end, as long as we get the original demo. Like, you know, the way Escape was done with the demos and then the remixes. I think as long as the original demo is there so we can hear what they had to begin with, I don't really mind who works on the remix.
That's why I like Michael album, because I feel like Michael album songs on Michael album are enhanced, not over done, like Escape is. They just followed Michael's vision on it, and they've added their own stuff. But I feel like that's still good. But then again, I think about, do I want to hear a rock version of Chicago? No, not really. I prefer Escape versions. So,
What's your opinion on it?
I'm very conflicted because I think the challenge is when it's a song we know. So this was the kind of thing with Escape, that when it's songs we know, to hear new versions of them, we already know what the original sounds like. So it's hard to kind of move past that. So with things like Blue Gangster and Escape, we know those songs. So when you coming in and doing your own thing, I didn't like it as much because I felt, well, I know what the original sounds like to know what Michael's vision was. When it was songs like Loving You and Chicago, I'd never heard the original.
Yeah.
So I had the benefit of enjoying both without ever being kind of, swayed one way or the other. I mean, you know how I feel about Blue Gangster when he took that beat out. That dun 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 dun.
I love Blue Gangster. I can't
New version or old version?
both.
I prefer the new version.
I mean...
And thank you, Charlotte, for joining us.
No, I mean, if I was to put Escape album right now, I would be listening to new version.
No.
The only time I put the original...
No.
Only time I put the original is sometimes I prefer to listen to Love Never Felt So Good, the piano version, and Escape.
The new Escape, and actually this leads really nicely into our next point, which should we, do we prefer the songs that have been remixed, and do we want them remixed when they come out of the vault, or do we prefer what they did with Bad 25 where they put them on as they were? And that leads me on really nicely because I hate what Rodney Jerkins did to Escape on the new version.
Dark Child.
It's like
the deeper.
They did it so it's almost like Michael's vocal can't keep up with the beat, and the beat's all over the place. And all I can think of when I hear that is that bat from Michael Jackson's Halloween flying over the sky.
No
context.
Not the Halloween special. No.
The Halloween special where it's like, we'll stick a song in now.
No. It made no sense. He's just flying over, and there's I don't know. Yeah, that's another story.
So do we prefer? Do we think it's okay to take songs out of the vault and work on them, or do we think it's better to do what they did with Bad 25 and leave them as they are?
I think what Charlotte said.
Yeah.
I think as long as because I understand their intention with reworked stuff. I've had this argument on Twitter so many times when fans are like, oh, they should have just released demos as the commercial, up front.
They wouldn't.
Demos aren't going to sell.
But take the example from Prince estate. They put out as Prince left it, and it just doesn't work. It's nowhere to be seen on the charts, and that's not what estate's aiming for. And that's not. I don't want it to just don't make any noise on it. I want it to be on top. I want it to chart. I want Michael there. When I look at Billboard Hot 100, I want him on top 10, if not number 1. That's what I mean. So I feel like, yes, we should remix, but also we need to hear original.
Yeah, I want to be greedy and have both. I want the demo and the remix. Like that. I don't think anybody who isn't fans like us are not going to be interested in the demos, really. I mean, how many people who are casual fans of Michael Jackson listen to the demos we already have?
Yeah.
Really?
Nobody wants to hear the plastic piano demo. Come on, demo is a unfinished song.
Listen, there is a lot to be said for Slave to the Rhythm original demo where she's dragging that ball and chain at the beginning.
I'm going to be honest. I don't like the song. I don't like Slave to the Rhythm. I don't like the original. I don't like the remix.
I'm just gonna
come for me.
I'm just gonna shut up.
I think when it's an anniversary project, so when it's like Bad 25, it makes sense to leave it as it is because it's showing the demos that came off of that project, and that's if they're going to do Thriller 40, well, they are doing Thriller 40. Any demos, I think, should be left as demos to show this is the creation process of the final record.
Yeah.
When it's an entirely new project like Michael or Escape, then I think there is some merit to maybe cleaning them up a bit. As I said before, what I think I struggle with personally is someone getting in there with their own views on things. So I think that's where I always kind of get lost with the the kind of albums that come out that there's too many people putting their own ideas on things. And we all know what happens when there's a remix like Bad Remix with Afrojax and Pitbull.
Yeah.
You know what? The remix on its own, I don't mind, but we didn't need to slap Pitbull on it. It's just, no.
Like a woman that's pregnant for 10 months. Be the greatest. Don't delay
delay
this. Get out.
Mr. Worldwide. Anyway.
But then on the same time, and I hate to say this, and I'm sorry, I do kind of feel that based on what we got on Thriller 25, Michael would have probably approved that Bad Remix.
He probably would have, which is unthinkable. But
I mean,
then that
Thriller
makes me
25,
think,
hello.
if he was still around for Thriller 40, what would we have even seen on it this time? I mean, I know it's not out yet, but I mean, Michael's approval wasn't always the best.
Do you think Thriller 40 is going to have, I know we've kind of covered Thriller 40, but do you think they're going to include the Thriller 25 mixes on it?
Yes.
Surely to God, not.
Because we are celebrating 40th anniversary, which is the whole journey.
Yeah, I agree with you, actually. I never thought of that, but I agree with you.
And Michael was alive when
Nah.
we got Thriller 25.
Fergie, I'm not listening to that.
It's a good
Fergie,
filler.
beat it one more time. Nah.
Honestly, knowing how lazy the estate is, we are getting those remixes
They'll be
because
like,
they're
"No,
good
no,
fillers. They're good fillers.
They'll go 12 tracks on disc 2 and you'll go, got that. And they've dug 2 things of him hollering into the back of a tape and stuck it over. There's your 2 unreleased songs now. Piss off.
Oh my god.
That's our punishment for the logo.
Unreleased. As in, it's on YouTube already. Oh my god. God help us.
But I think I agree with you in terms of, chartability. It really kind of says, well, what do we want to happen with this project? And I guess with Sony are kind of looking and thinking, we can either target just fans or we can target an entire audience. And, Escape in the UK sold 40,000 copies on release and went to number 1. Least the estate forget, because it didn't go to number 1 in the US. It went to number 2 because
That was
they
their own
screwed it
fault.
up with the Black Keys. But we were proud of it going to number 1 here on the back of 40,000 sales. 40,000.
Something like that.
I don't know the numbers.
I actually don't know. I would have to search it up on MJ Vibe because they were reporting it.
Says chart data.
I know.
Chart data. Chart data has officially announced his retirement from charting the charts.
Guys, if I want to pull any records, I'll just go on MJ Vibe to look it up.
MJ Chart Data is now run by Sebastian Mill.
Credit where credit's due. Unlike some people.
So, you mentioned Prince and the Prince estate. Compared to other artists, how do you think Michael's vault and unreleased material and the archiving of it measures up to other estates?
I was just going to say, like you said, I think there's not as much there. I really don't know. I think that's such a difficult question.
I feel like there would have been, but where other estates, all the other artists had their stuff sorted out and they had it in order. I feel like they have more than Michael, where Michael could have way more than anybody else. But because I feel like they artists themselves, as you said, Michael was a hoarder and everything was a mess and everything was all over the place. I feel like that's the difference there.
Well, I think another difference maybe is that it's scattered between lots of people.
Yeah,
that's what I mean.
Producers have different parts, different people who
Sorry,
work
yeah, that's
with
what I
them
mean.
throughout it. Like people who may have taken things that weren't theirs, have things. Do you know what I mean? Like it's scattered through loads of people, so maybe people will never know the entirety of it.
Yeah. And I think, will.i.am in particular has said that he has those tracks he recorded with Michael in the late 2000s and he won't release them because he doesn't feel that's right. And there's sort of 6, I think there were 6 unfinished songs called I'm Still the King and a few others.
Will.i.am, if you're listening, do the best thing you've done in the last 10 years and give us it.
No, see, I don't know. This is really complicated to me because I really liked will.i.am's Willpower album. And, he had like Scream and Shout and Justin Bieber. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah.
And he said in an interview, and that's his words, that he wanted to release a track called I'm Dreaming with Michael Jackson, but the estate didn't let him. That's why he said in an interview.
That is not surprising.
So that and when 2010 you said his album came out in 2012 or 2013. So that's a bit off. So it's fine for him to put it on his album, but it's not if the estate want to release it on Michael's album. He just doesn't want to give it.
We don't know if they wanted to release it, because I remember when Queen worked on There Must Be More to Life Than This, and it was, if you remember, it was announced and it was coming, and it was meant to be 3 tracks: Victory, There Must Be More to Life Than This, and
Is it State of Shock?
State of Shock. And Roger Taylor said, working with the Michael Jackson estate is like wading through glue. And the finished product wasn't that great. I think he was kind of done dirty on that record personally, but I understand that there's obviously, like, you know, dealing with them must be really difficult. I think sort of going back to other artists and their estate, if you look at the Whitney estate, they have nothing.
Yeah.
To quote Whitney, I have nothing. They've released a live album of her greatest performances. They've released another greatest hits. And in terms of music, and the song with Kygo.
Higher Love.
Oh yeah, of course.
Which, ironically, Higher Love has probably eclipsed anything the estate have done in the last 10 years on one song.
Yeah.
Because it's been huge. And I still play it.
It's still on the
I
radio.
love it, but what I will say is the only thing that we can compare with the other estates seem to deliver better every time. They deliver what they've got, even if it's less, they do it in a better way.
Do you think that's us looking outward and thinking, okay, well, they're getting better than us? Because if I look at the Prince fans and I look at the Whitney, they complain. Like when the merchandise goes up for Whitney, the Whitney fans are like, what is this crap? And I'm like, oh my God, it's us.
Yeah.
So do you think that's us looking at what we don't have and seeing that they're getting better?
I don't know. I mean, that Prince box set that came out, when was that? A couple of months ago? Maybe last year? That was so much nicer than a lot of the things that we've had.
They're probably looking at us going, we don't want to be you.
Yeah.
We don't.
We don't like what we have, but we don't like what you have either.
No.
But then again, I know, and I do think the fans can be really hard to please, and we're never going to please everyone.
Yeah.
Ever. So I do understand that the estate have a hard job. Do I think they make it harder for themselves? Yeah.
I think taking that aside and looking at a package, the way in which something is done. So, for example, Thriller 40 could have been a box set with the vinyl, the CD, even the cassette, because let's be real, cassette is coming back. So not necessarily the contents of what's on there, but the way in which it's put together. You could look to other estates, I think, to see how they do it. Amy Winehouse's estate did a really nice 7-inch box set, and it had 12 7-inches of all her singles. And it was a lovely box set, really nicely put together. So I think that's something the estate could do.
Yeah.
They could take the 7 Thriller singles, or they might as well take the 9 tracks off Thriller and make them 9 singles and put them in a box set and release it as a singles collection. There are things like that they could do. So I think the packaging, and especially I would look to other estates and say, even George Michael's estate are doing really well with the packaging.
Yeah.
I will say we have had nice ones in the past. The Diamond Celebration box set with the picture discs, loved that. The Light Up box set, that was good. I'm not in total hatred of everything we've ever had, but I agree with you. Like the way that other estates have delivered is something to be admired.
Bad 25 box set was really,
that
really
was
good.
really good.
Yeah, that was done really well. I think Bad 25 as a project was brilliant.
Yeah.
Yes, okay, the quality of the footage wasn't great on the tour, but they did sort of say, we found a VHS in a box, and I don't know whether that was them just kind of trying to create some drama out of nothing, but then knowing as Michael was a hoarder, they probably did just find it in the bottom of a box and go, what's this?
No, but they
it's a tour.
also gave us the Vision, which was also potato quality. So, yeah, there's that.
So as we've discussed what we think might be in the vault and what the estate could do with it, this is what the estate say is actually in the vault. So according to their IRS report, they said there are between 7,000 to 10,000 pieces of tape which have been described as mostly tailings. There were 2 completed and unreleased recordings. There are 25 to 30 full vocals with some music. In total, the estate confirmed there were 83 songs, fragments, tunes and vocals in the vault at the time of Michael's passing.
So 13 years ago.
What's the 2 finished songs?
We probably had them by now.
Blue Gangster and Escape. Is that what they mean?
We don't know. So, I imagine we've already had those 2 songs. If that was in 2009, surely we've already had them by now.
Yeah.
But wouldn't you count A Place With No Name finished?
But we don't...
But-
yeah.
That's 3.
See, they confused me with that because when they did the promo for Escape, firstly, they came out with The Best You've Never Heard as the first tagline, if you remember, and they did all those posters around London. And then they dropped that very quickly because they probably realised, shit, if we release a second album after this, or a third album, we can't then say, oh, but now this is the best. So I think they realised after it went out how stupid that was. But also, I think when you look at what they said, L.A. Reid said, we only put on songs that Michael sung top to bottom multiple times because we knew that's how he loved the song. They claimed that he did Slave to the Rhythm top to bottom 26 times or whatever, vocally. Yet the demo and their version have exactly the same one singular vocal track. Yeah. It's not like the version they did had some additional harmonies taken from an additional record. It was all the same. So I don't believe that because where are those 26 alternative versions?
Also, isn't Love Never Felt So Good one take?
Yeah, with a piano. And I don't, from what I understand, there wasn't even stems for it. They just had like one tape, a bit like This Is It.
Yeah.
They had one tape, or I've never heard.
I feel like that's gone missing because there's some vocals that are laid over, and like especially at the end, he has extra ad-libs on it, which you can't just put it on one tape together. There was another take, you know. But I feel like Paul Anka must have just lost that one. I don't know.
Lost. If that was in 2009, then I imagine more will have came up by now from, I don't know, whoever.
Well, if you think, so 83 songs, fragments, tunes and vocals in the vault at the time of Michael's passing. So we had, excluding the fake songs, which we'll get to, we had 7 on Michael. Who's good at maths?
Right,
Connie.
Go on.
So when you look at what we've had, we worked out, I think, before that there are about 40 songs that we think that we are aware of that are in the vault. So that includes all the stuff off Michael.
Yeah.
That includes, excluding the fake songs, which we'll come to. That includes the unremixed stuff on Escape. That's the stuff on Bad 25. And then those kind of odd ones like This Is It, Don't Matter to Me. And then there were songs we did a list of things that we know about, like Serious Effect, Work That Body, She Got It, Man in Black, all these sorts of things, Men in Black, I don't know which version it is, Buffalo Bill, Tomboy, all these kind of songs that we were aware of. So we came up with about 40. I don't know if they're including demos in that, because otherwise there's still 40 to work out. So I reckon that's got to be demos, because if you think we got Beat It demo on disc 2 of This Is It, Beat It, a cappella.
She's Out of My Life.
She's Out of My Life. I reckon they're included.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they said fragments, tunes and vocals. So that's got to include demos, right?
Yeah, so tunes also makes me think music but no words.
Yeah.
So
there's people all over the world. There's Days in Gloucestershire, all these types of things.
Jane is something. I forgot something.
Oh, Jane is a groupie.
That's the one that was released, leaked out from one of the sessions. Anyway, that's irrelevant.
So 83 kind of puts a dampener on these claims that there being a vault with 300 songs in it. So I know that in 2009, an article came out that claimed Michael had recorded and left his children 300 songs. So what are your thoughts on that?
Lies.
it's not real. It's not true. I think us as fans would love to believe that was the case, because then there's 300 songs, like that's so exciting. But I don't believe it. Why, if there's 300 and he died 13 years ago, we would have had more by now? I'm sorry, like we would have. I think he would put it test.
Well, I have a theory on it, but just to back up your point, if there was 300 songs in the vault, why would we have had 6 of them on Escape that we've already had leaked?
Yeah.
They would be like, oh, they leaked, don't worry about them. Here's another load, because we got 300.
Yeah.
And knowing the Estate, we'd have had an album every year by now.
Yeah.
Here's a new album.
Like, go away with your new albums. I can't cope with
Honestly, I'll take it. I'll take it. Give me.
I think when it comes to the article that you're talking about, it's never been confirmed.
Yeah.
So it's never been officially confirmed. And if we are going to only rely on reliable sources when it comes to information about Michael, when it comes to allegations and things, we have to have the same attitude when it comes to the vault and everything else. So I think unless we are looking at reliable sources that aren't just a Wikipedia list or wherever we want to pull this information from, we have to come at it from the same angle. So it's never been confirmed.
I agree. I think there are, when it comes to the vault and what's potentially in it, I know there's that huge Wikipedia list. I've actually asked producers about those songs and they're like, what is that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
There are things like, for example, in History, there's a tape with Revenge written on it. And one of the producers I know has that tape and he was like, it's literally...
So disappointing.
Yes. But Michael was like, oh, I'm going to do something called Revenge. But then obviously the fans see a tape and go, oh, there's a song called Revenge, release Revenge. In the same way that like a bit of Throwing Your Life Away leaked from those studio sessions that go around the world. And everyone's like, release that. It's like, that's not even in the Estate's archive.
Yeah.
It's in somebody else's.
Mm-hmm.
So why would the Estate release Throwing Your Life Away? It's not even in their set. This is the thing. I think people forget, as you said earlier, there's multiple sources where this stuff is coming from. It's not just, it's all in the Estate's vault or nothing.
I think what fans back that up with, those articles, is the fact that Michael himself said, or was it?
Oh, yeah.
Where he said, oh, we recorded hundreds of songs and then we cut it down to 10.
Yeah.
This is it. That's why fans are like, yes, definitely. We have 6 albums? Mm-hmm. Yes, there must be even more. That's why also we want to believe it, but that's also what they back it up with.
Yeah.
Which I don't believe it's not true. Well, there's no way he recorded 100 songs for an album.
We know for History
crazy.
That's not true.
Yeah.
Yes.
We know 100% that's not true. And when I spoke to the people involved in History for the book, they all said, there was a handful that maybe didn't make the cut, and there's a handful that were unfinished, but it was mostly spending 18 months working on those same songs over and over and over. I think Rob Hoffman put it best when he said, for 6 months I had that in my ear, but they don't care, because Michael would blare it as loud as possible. So, if he had 6 months to work on one song, there's no way they recorded 100.
No.
So I agree with you. I think a lot of it has come from that. We just touched upon the Casio tracks, and obviously the latest developments in this has been, as of yesterday and today, the Estate have removed the Casio tracks from digital streaming platforms, which means that Breaking News, Monster, and Keep Your Head Up are no longer available to stream. In response to fan questions as to whether this was an official move by the Estate, a representative from the Estate confirmed that the fans were being distracted by these songs and the conversation around them, and it was preventing new fans from discovering Michael's legendary and deep catalogue. So, we know the Estate have been in court regarding these songs. It's been an ongoing lawsuit. What the fuck is going on?
Listen, get that CD out of here. It's really distracting me.
But this is it. It's like we're children again. We're being distracted.
For you.
Wow, so distracted. I think it's a good thing. Let's just start, because I feel like the second we found out there was fake songs, we wanted them gone, and that's why we were telling the Estate that shouldn't be included, but they just went ahead, as they usually do, hence Thriller 4T logo. They've put it on CD, it was on streaming. Actually, Monster was one of the biggest streaming song on the album, on Spotify, because it was included on Spotify's Halloween playlist every year. So it's actually, that's why I tweeted on MJHR data when they removed the songs, the album streams dropped by almost 23 million. And that is the reason. Yeah.
I just think with those 3 songs, my biggest issue is they're not even good songs.
No,
They're not.
I know.
Like, we've had all of this for over 10 years over songs that are crap. They're not even good songs. Like, when you look at the lyrics to Breaking News, they don't even make sense. When you read the lyrics to Monster, they don't even make sense. What's that line? They want to see me fall cos Michael Jackson.
I know.
That doesn't even make sense.
But I remember at the time listening to the Michael album. It was the first song that I heard. What was it? 2010. I was 12 and I was thinking, what the fuck is this?
Honestly, I woke up that morning. I remember I was getting ready for college and I was buzzing that morning. I've put my computer on straight away. As I'm getting ready, I'm doing my shoes, and then there's the whole. We had the intro bit out.
Yes, 30
Didn't
seconds
we?
of it.
And that was the snippet. Without Michael's voice, it was just that news intro. And I'm doing my shoes and it just, ow! And then it just started and everybody, I literally just went, what the fuck is this? Sorry.
I recall the day that came out. So when they did the 30-second clip, they released a little video teaser and they used clips of the press conference for This Is It. So I was in that 30-second teaser from the clip. So my first thought was, oh my God, I'm going to be in a Michael Jackson video. When I heard that 30-second, like, whatever that horrid piano sound was. And so I was like, I can't believe it. I'm actually going to be in a Michael Jackson video. This is insane. And then the next day they put it on the website. I think it was like 5 a.m. It was really early because I know This Is It streamed at 5 a.m. So I woke up for it and I had to leave my house at 7 for work. And I heard it and I just sat there and I was like, no. Because I remember there'd been some rumblings and some rumours and I was like, no way. And then I left my house at 7 and I recall this as clear as day. I was walking up the street and I was on the phone to my friend and I was just like, it's not him. It's not him. She was like, what do you mean? I was like, it isn't him. I don't know who it is, but it isn't him. She was like, I haven't heard it yet. I was like, but it isn't him. And we were raging. Yeah. And then I went to the studio where I worked and we were recording the Tommy Emmanuel sessions for Much Too Soon that week. But I was just thinking like, right, well, there's going to have to be somebody here that I can speak to about this because they're coming in to do the rest of the album. And I couldn't find anybody that would speak to me about it. And we weren't allowed to approach people and all this sort of thing. But they're just horrid songs.
Yeah, they are.
So what's that other one? Do you really want to stay? No, I really want to go. Do you really want to stay? No. It's like, come on.
I know.
At least, like, I guess for me, it kind of, the questions I want to understand from this whole debacle is, you know, when it first came out, we set up an email address, that's not mj@mjvibe.com. I was on the admin of a page that was Breaking News is not sung by Michael Jackson. What I really want to understand this far down the line is why, first and foremost. And secondly, from the estates part, if this is, you know, you're backing this, why not sue the Cassios? Why not say, you gave us songs and told us they were Michael and they're not. We've got all this heat because of you. We're suing you. My only answer to that is perhaps that there's going to be some discovery that would come up to suggest... I don't know.
Yeah.
But there's definitely... There's something rotten in the state of Denmark because it's just not legitimate to me.
No. I think wanting to know why now... Obviously, I think we kind of know why now. But... I don't understand why we're going to take everything off streaming platforms as if everyone doesn't have this sitting about.
I mean, it is the one thing you see in every charity shop, every CEX, every cash converters, that album is there.
But it's so disappointing because I actually love the album art. I know that you don't feel the same way, but it's okay to be wrong in the words of yourself.
It is okay to be wrong.
What does the sticker say?
Which you are.
Includers hold my... Okay, cool.
Yeah, but see, this is the thing. I think this was... I don't think this gets spoken about enough. When I look at this from a marketing angle, my first thoughts are Michael, not Michael Jackson, Michael. Again, Michael, the the much anticipated album of newly completed recordings. Doesn't say by who. Side, Michael. Doesn't say who. On the back it says, this album contains 9 previously unreleased vocal tracks performed by Michael Jackson. These tracks were recently completed using music from original vocal tracks and music created by credited producers. So a vocal track doesn't mean a vocal song.
Yeah.
So that could be 2 tracks for Hollywood Tonight, 1 for Best of Joy, 2 for Another Day. It never anywhere actually says that it doesn't say each of these songs was completed by Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
It says 9 vocal tracks performed by Michael Jackson.
We have 7 songs on iTunes for digital download, and basically now every streaming platform also has 7 songs. So all the Casio tracks are gone. Well, there's also a lawsuit going on right now. It's not done. It's not. No one has won. No, nothing's going on. So, what do you guys think is the reason for this?
As in, like, why
have they removed the tracks? Sorry.
Well, according to the note from the estate today, it said removing them does not change the authenticity or questions around the authenticity. It's like, yes, it does.
It does.
So why is it only those 3? Why not remove the whole fucking album?
Yeah.
What do you guys think is the reason?
I think it's got something to do with whatever's happening in this court case. I mean, we don't know the exacts, but I think it's whatever has been said or has got to do, it's another way to cover their own back in some form.
Do you guys think it's because they think we're actually losing this, so let's do it before we actually officially do? Let's remove songs before we do it, and then they can say, well, it's not there anymore.
Gone,
So
Do you think it's more like, based on your point, that it's like we're doing it ourselves before we're told we have to do it legally?
Yeah.
We're jumping before we're pushed.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That. And I think you might be right. And I think also what's interesting is it's kind of like, if this is as simple as it was, why the fuck has it taken you so long?
we've been going on about it for 12 years.
But we
literally.
know that they don't do anything unless they feel like they've come to the decision on their own. The fans, like, this is why they won't change Thriller 40 logo now.
Yeah.
Because they know that because we've said we don't want it, they won't go, okay, we hear you, let's change it.
Yeah.
It's the same with the Michael album tracks. It's like, we won't take it down when you say, we'll take it down when we're ready to take it down, which is not when you say.
Yeah.
Thankfully, it might be when Vera says, because she took the lawsuit and she's doing a fantastic job at holding them accountable.
Yeah.
What I'd like to know is what's going to happen with the CD. Are they going to reissue the CD? Are they going to offer people to exchange the CD for a different version? Are they going to get a refund on it? I mean, there's probably some sort of statute of limitation where, present a receipt and you'll get a refund. Joke's on you, bitch, because I got my receipt.
No, that's amazing.
I keep every time I buy a Michael Jackson product, if it's got Michael Jackson on the receipt, I keep the receipt.
Just in case a situation like this comes up.
It isn't, but it's like, they'll be like,
in case we're getting a refund.
they'll say, no one's got the receipt. I'm like, hold my beer.
I don't think anything like that's I don't think they're going to offer refunds. No way. There will be some small print somewhere that prevents them from losing anything. Surely.
Equally, I just think this whole saga, they're just trying to kind of slip it away quietly. Where's the official statement? You've taken them off Spotify.
Yeah.
There are people...
No, not just
Sadly.
Spotify. Not just Spotify, though. Everywhere.
Yeah.
Except the CD. You can
Oh,
still buy it on Amazon, but everywhere. Literally for iTunes, which is the only platform that you can download digitally.
But you owe us an explanation, not a response to a fan website that's asked you a question. You owe an official statement. There are fans out there that still think those songs are him. And, ultimately, if they're not part of the community or they're not part of the active discussions, then they may not know. I think you encountered one yesterday. But they deserve an explanation to know why those songs that they may enjoy are no longer there. If they have been told by the estate, here's a new album of Michael Jackson's music, and suddenly 3 songs aren't available, they deserve to know why. I'm still after justice for this not being on Spotify, by the way. So, put it back.
No, I think that's what they're going to do. So, you know how I Like the Way You Love Me is on here, on Michael, which is taken from that album, The Ultimate Collection. I feel like they've taken it down because they want to we release them.
I think that as well. I think they're going to put together the unreleased stuff off the Ultimate Collection and release it as its own disc and say, well, and they'll do what they did with Streetwalker on Bad 25 and say, well, not everybody has these or has heard of them because the Ultimate Collection. Yeah. So we're reissuing.
Nobody has these because we've taken it away from you.
But then it's like, as you said, it says Dangerous Precedent. Do we just start taking other songs away? Do us a favour and take The Lost Children off Invincible.
Yes! We pray for our father, pray for our mother, wishing our families well.
So we'll see what will actually happen. Hopefully we will get an actual official statement. Mm-hmm. At least saying we don't want you to be distracted. Like, yeah.
I mean, that was so condescending.
It is.
And it was so self-promoting as well. I'm excited about the MJ biopic that's coming. It's like, good for you, hon.
I'm happy for you.
Yeah.
I don't think any of the fans are excited for it because
I can't wait for your portrayal of how you're going to present Michael if it's anything like how you present his music.
Yeah.
And what was interesting to me about that is that earlier in that statement, he'd said the fans are getting distracted and should be focusing on Michael's legendary and deep music catalogue. But then says, I'm excited about the biopic. Uh-huh. It's like, okay, I'm focused on Michael's legendary and deep music catalogue. And anything that comes to tarnish that, I'm coming for. Mm-hmm. So I am focused on what you told me to be focused on. You just don't like what I have to say about it.
But they said the same stuff with the logo. It was like, oh, I would look forward to 4K. I would look forward to it. It's as if, no, redirect, children. This is what we're looking at. Yeah. It's so
If I were you, it's like, well, you're not me, are you? Because if you were, you'd be doing it a hell of a lot better.
No. Every statement that they've put out recently has just been like, no, silly people.
Yeah. And I think it's the same with this. It's kind of like, you shouldn't be focused. It's like, I don't work for you. I'll focus on what I choose to because I was around before the estate came into fruition. So if I want to focus on the fact that you put 3 songs out there that are not Michael, I'll focus on that. Thanks, Han. Enjoy your popcorn screaming.
But also the people who care enough to complain, the people that care enough to email are your primary consumer. What are you doing? Like, treating them the way you treat them. It's awful.
It's. I just think this kind of, we're telling you how to play. And Michael was very good at never getting involved in the fan community in that sense. The fans did their thing. That yes, there were some situations that maybe he should have got involved in, but he didn't. But he kind of never told the fans how to be fans. Yeah. We gravitated to Michael for all of our own individual reasons. Yeah. And therefore, we choose why we support him, why we listen to what we listen to, why we like the songs we like. You don't tell me how to do that. Yeah. It's like, here's how to fan.
Yeah.
No.
Here's what to be excited about.
Yeah.
If I were you, I'd be excited about the biopic.
It's insane.
Where you aiming?
How about fuck off?
So let's talk about fan demands, because I think this is important to address. So every time the estate posts anything on their mundane social channels, you're littered with, we want new music, release a new album. We want Dangerous 25, which I am so tired of hearing.
Oh
no.
I've actually had to block fan accounts that say release Dangerous 25. I'm like,
get over it.
We're past Dangerous 30. So the question is, I guess, with this constant fan demand, is it a good idea to release unreleased music soon? What should be considered, when it comes to an anniversary edition, fan desire versus chartability, and how long, ultimately, do we expect whatever's left in the vault to last?
Can I say something that we have not mentioned that I would like to see if there's things in the vault? Or things that haven't been mentioned, merch. See merch that was maybe designed for I don't know, like things that were sold at tours, things that I'm sure there was merch designed for. This is it. Where is all that?
Well, I can tell you exactly where that is.
Why did I even ask?
not for the Outdoors, but for This Is It, there was a lookbook which is about this thick of all the designs they did for This Is It, and there were thousands. In 2014, Seb and I went to Liverpool to meet somebody who gave us access to this book. Mm-hmm. And in the book was every note that Michael had about every design, from the meeting they had with him in Carrollwood, all his feedback, designs he didn't like. There were things like where he'd circled it and written ugly, or like needs more diamonds and things like this. Like there was loads, but there was everything from bedding to glasses to a children's range to dressing gowns to sports bags to shoes. It was just endless stuff. There was like
clothing line.
There was like handbags with PYT written on it and like his face. There was a snow globe with a history statue in it. There was one of my favourite things, and obviously for obvious reasons it can't be released, but I would love to see it, was a gloved hand bursting out of a gravestone with RIP and then Thriller on the back. There was a dangerous hoodie with Bubbles' eyes.
I mean, that would still be cool, though.
Yeah.
There was all these different things, and they were all approved by Michael. Now imagine, instead of all this crap that we're getting on the website, if they released a range approved by Michael range, and they had all of that. Remember when they did that awful T-shirt on michaeljackson.com that just had Dangerous 1992?
Yeah.
And then and they did it as a tote bag as well. It's like you say, why not release en masse the original T-shirt?
Yeah.
I'm just so confused because if it's successful, why not push it?
It's making you money.
It's literally, I would.
Isn't that what it's all about?
Yes.
If merch is cool, I'm stocking it up. Because if I wear one off, I want another one.
Well,
so why not?
That book that you're talking about, if it was that thick, where is it?
It's literally work done for them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and they're not using.
done.
I'm baffled. I
You
genuinely.
know how much I would pay for that? Are you listening? You know how much I would pay for that though? Like things like that, and I feel like that's something that we maybe forget about because the merch that we get isn't maybe what people would want.
Mm-mm.
I feel like something like that's maybe forgotten about.
Well, there's no cohesion to it, is it? It's just
No.
like, here's a random T-shirt with a bad picture, and there's one with a dangerous picture, and there's one with another like bad picture, and you're like, well, what's the theme?
Yeah.
Where are we going here, guys?
Sorry.
But no, I agree with you completely. But in terms of fan demand, how long do you think the music's going to last? Because for me, I always think in the last 13 years, we've had a lot, not necessarily in terms of unreleased music, but we've had, a lot of repackages. We've had a lot of things to buy.
Yeah.
And I'm talking purely music and product versus like T-shirts because they're 2 a penny. I personally would like to see this last a lot longer than the next 5 years.
Yeah.
I would like it in 25 years to when my nephew and niece are in their 20s to be getting a new Michael Jackson song versus kind of using it all up over the next, another album. Because I know nowadays like Bieber and Ariana and Shawn Mendes are releasing albums like every 6 months. So I think that especially some of the younger fans are kind of coming at it from that approach. Like we want another Michael Jackson record. Whereas all we've got is all we've got.
Yeah.
So I would like to see it last, but I know that other people are hungry to have it sooner. So what do you think? Do you think it's better to come sooner or wait?
I think it... See, I want to go back to since Michael passed. So we've had This Is It, and we've had Michael album, and then we have Immortal, and then we have Bad 25. So I feel like they've given us so much in such short amount of time. We're kind of used to having everything like every 2 years at least. So after Escape, we got to 2016 and I was like, where is the album?
You got your Off the Wall repackaged, didn't you?
No, thank you. I do not count Off the Wall repackage as anything because maybe repackage was cute, whatever it came with the...
Broken Chalk.
Yeah. But I didn't even buy it. I don't own it. I don't have it. I don't want it.
They said this was Michael's original idea, but you never told us where that comes from. It's the same as this. Sorry, going back to this, when they said, we have a note that says, Hold My Hand was Michael's desire to be the first song off the album, right? What's the entire booklet made up of? Handwritten Michael Jackson notes. Does it include the one that says, I want to hold my hand? It does not. So...
It's all just made up. I don't know. I don't understand who are these people. Why are they in charge or what?
I think I agree with you. Like I still want there to be new releases in 20 years. Maybe not like albums and stuff, but at least a song or something. I don't think personally, I don't think there's a lot left.
I feel like we've had Scream album in 2017.
Oh yeah.
And then we had Don't Matter to Me with Drake in 2018, which is, I like that. I feel like give us a collection or give us something, and then a few years later, a single that was unreleased or a duet with something Michael related, and then do another collection, love songs collection, or do something with the Jackson 5 or the Brothers.
Hold up a minute. When I said do something with the Jackson 5, you were like, no.
No, not the whole album. I do not want the whole album with Jermaine and Tito. No thanks. I cannot stress this enough. I do not want.
The man's
I'm
like
sorry,
60 something. How do you not know how to pronounce his name?
Listen, keep brothers and sisters away. No, I'm not buying. I'm not interested. That's.
You're gonna get cancelled.
I know. There's Ilias over party trending. No, but I'm good. I don't want cousins and brothers and sisters except Janet. Put Janet on it. Give me the whole album with Janet Jackson and Michael. I don't mind. But
so,
yeah.
Giving the estate, a bit here, do you think it's unfair to demand of them like endless unreleased stuff?
Yes, I do. I totally do. Because I think, to be honest, as you have made the point, we have got a lot more in the past 13 years than we got in the last 13 years of Michael's life.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And as much as it's fine to say, oh, we want more, there is a limit now because he isn't here to make more.
Yeah.
So we are limited in what we can receive. And if we want to still be receiving in 5 years, we're going to have to just kind of deal with it. I like that Don't Matter to Me, I might be wrong in saying this, but Don't Matter to Me came to me as a complete surprise. I like that we were surprised.
Came to the world as a complete surprise. It should have left as a surprise.
No.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. Maybe I'm bored of it now, and I'm not a big fan of what they've done with the vocal. I think it could have been done way much better. But I have lost the point. Sorry.
Love Drake, love Michael. Don't Matter to Me was a hit in my book.
It was a banger, and it was important because it got younger people talking, and Drake fans are all. Yeah.
Do you know what I didn't like about it, other than the song?
Other than the whole thing.
It's just that it was never owned. It was kind of, the estate did say a statement was coming about it and then never released one. But they didn't own it. It wasn't like Drake has Michael Jackson on his... It was just kind of like, oh yeah, they've given him an unreleased vocal for that Drake album.
And it was on a second disc, can I just say. It wasn't even like one of the main songs.
Yeah.
Everyone on my timeline loved it.
All my people loved it.
No,
all my people.
It literally is one of the most streamed song on the album. I'm not talking about the actual singles, but...
Oh yeah, on Scorpion.
On Scorpion, it's one of the most streamed song. And it's a top 10 single also.
So if you had the chance to go into the vault and take something out, what would you take out? You can only have one thing.
Just one.
So it could be something unreleased. It could be an official product maybe that you didn't have. I mean, like, I would
take it out as in release it?
As like, take it out
and have it for yourself.
And have it for yourself.
Or just put it out to the world maybe.
Ooh.
I mean, I probably would have said Leave Me Alone on cassette tape, but I've recently acquired that, so it was a long time coming, but it finally came
it's back
home.
You
just
wanted
call me
it for ages. Just come.
So, what would you go in and take out?
Can I be basic?
Yeah.
I just want video footage. I just want more video footage. Like, any video footage at all. I don't care if it's him sitting in the corner of a room. I just want to see more video footage.
I would take this is it footage. I would run with it.
So I thought about this long and hard, and I figured I'd probably need a team. I need a lot of support. I'm getting a van. I'm getting some builders, and I'm pulling that fucking vault from the wall as an entirety, and I am taking the vault itself.
Yes. No, I mean that's another.
What
thing.
would I take from the vault? I'll take the vault. Everything in it. No, truth be told, I don't know, because ultimately, I think I would probably take outtakes from Invincible, because that's, you know, Dangerous and stuff. We've had a lot of stuff leaked, and there's been so much of Bad and Thriller and blah blah blah. But I just feel like Invincible has never kind of been tapped into, and he was on that edge of like a real R&B and dance sound, and I would just like to hear some more of that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And Rodney Jerkins, release that footage.
Honestly,
Please.
Just do it.
That being said, though, I mean, we spoke about other artists like will.i.am talking about things that they had done together, but there's been a lot of artists who have said that. The Game was one. Was there not? With Mary J. Blige was thrown around like.
There was Hot Fun in the Summertime, which was meant to be on Escape and then didn't come to fruition.
Mariah says she has a song.
Right,
with
all
him.
these artists who are
Mariah,
and open your purse.
Mariah has been playing that card for years. Open your purse, open your vault, and get that song out there.
It's still, again, she did say though there's an issue with estate, and there's the whole rights thing. So I don't know. Maybe one day we'll get it.
So to conclude, because we've got 5 minutes, do you think we'll ever get to experience every aspect of what's in the vault in our lifetimes, or do you think that it will run out?
So so we're between 20 and 30. So if we're lucky, we've got what, like 50 years in us? So in the next 50 years, knowing the estate, they're going to have it sitting in 100 years. There's going to be something left right at the back. I don't think we're ever going to get everything.
It's that rainy day that's been and gone. You know, when they go, we're saving it for a rainy day. It's like, it's gone.
I don't think we're ever going to get everything. Because as well, it's scattered through so many people. I don't.
I feel like whatever they had, we already have it. That's the thing. Whatever was finished, completed, it's on these 2 albums. And then I feel like after this, we're just going to get Don't Matter to Me type songs, if we will. And I mean, they have a lot of work to do on like restoring music videos, and actually Off the Wall still sounds like crap on Spotify, so they could put better quality on there as well. So by that I mean there's a lot to be done, so you know they shouldn't rest.
I don't think there is another Earth song in the vault. I don't think there's another Billie Jean in the vault. I do believe that, you know, Michael put in songs that he wasn't entirely happy with. As I say, you know, I do see it as chapters of a book, but I don't think they are the strongest songs. So, you know, if you're going to drag out Nightline for Thriller 40, I'm not about to throw you a parade. But I don't think his strongest work is in the vault. I think his strongest work already came and has been. So I would hope that we would get the best of what's there, but I don't think we'll get all of what's there.
Do you guys think, this is just something that I've thought of there, do you guys think that when it came to making the Mike album, making Escape, making things that have already been released, there has been things that maybe are in the vault and they've been like, no, that's really good, we'll save that for a future release? Or do you think of like...
I think so, but I also think, when are you going to get the opportunity to release songs from the 80s untouched? Again, like Bad 25 was your chance to release the unreleased stuff of Bad 25. Are you going to start doing like Bad 35, and are people like, because then we're like 20, God knows what.
Yeah.
Are people really going to be interested in songs that are like 50 years old?
Surely, yeah, because you would think it would come on the first release.
Yeah.
I mean, eventually the Bad 25, Bad 30, Bad 35, that's all going to get old. Eventually. And what more can we really do when it comes to Thriller 40 is obviously coming up. Is there going to be a Thriller 50, Thriller 60? Like, what
Well, I
is
do
going to be on
remember
this?
Matt Forger said, I can't remember if it was Buffalo Bill or Tomboy. I'll check. He said it was like 95% complete and was a good contender for Bad 25 and was pulled off at the last minute. So, you know, they've got things like that.
Yeah.
It would be good to see that come, I think.
I also think they're looking at Thriller 40 right now and they're thinking, we should keep this for Thriller 50.
Really?
Because they have to do something for 50 because that's a half a
I don't think they even know what they're doing for Thriller 40.
No.
No, they
But,
really,
I mean, Rob Stringer, the president of Sony, said that they were focused on singles with Michael now and not album projects. So that has been said, I think he said it in 2018, that we're looking at singles and team-ups like the Drake thing versus like full albums. So I think they'll still do the anniversary stuff, but I think we won't see a new album anytime soon.
That being said, I do want to clear up with me saying that the anniversary stuff eventually will get old. I think not acknowledging the anniversaries would be worse.
Yeah,
So
I agree.
I can't really complain.
I agree.
yeah, me too.
Sorry, I'm. Wait a minute. What have we got? We've got this. Is it? We've got. Yeah. I'm sticking with you.
I'm going to say this. I would say disc 2 of this for She's Out of My Life demo because I think it's amazing.
I would have had the gold version.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And your least favourite release? It's here. No, it's here.
What are you looking for?
Yeah.
It's not optional, it's here. It's a shame because the songs on it are really good that are him.
They are, but
the
it
ones
That's,
ruins
that's what
it,
I
how
mean.
they're
That's why
ruined
I'm a
by
bit like.
But it ruins it, so...
It does. I feel like this is it. I find this is it kind of pointless. But not the disc 2. Disc 2
Yeah.
is the fun part.
Okay, well,
But
we'll
at
do
the time,
At the time it worked.
Uh-huh.
It really did. I mean, it's a soundtrack for
It
them.
was just disc 2 didn't make any sense. So that was the big MJ debate, Michael Jackson's vault. Do you agree with what we've said? Do you think songs should come out of the vault? Let us know in the comments and don't forget to like and subscribe.